Hi everyone, we are designing trivet sides in this video. We're going to start with a new standard IPT. We're going to do a 2D sketch on the XY plane. Click and let go. And we're going to start by drawing a 2-point rectangle. So I place one of my 2 points, and now I'm going to type in my 2 dimensions. So technically, your trivet sides can be different sizes when we build them. But for now, we're going to start with a 9-inch wide piece and 2.5 inches tall. Front. This is all we need for our first sketch. So we're going to say finish sketch. I like to go to my home view, and I'm going to extrude it a 1/2 inch thick. So 0.5, enter. Right away, before I move on, I want to make sure I save this just so I don't lose it at the end of the hour. So I'm going to go File, Save As. Make sure I'm putting this into my H drive for the save-in location. And it is called a Trivet Side. Next, we're going to start a 2D sketch on the front of our piece. We are going to design the handle holes the same way we're going to physically build them in the wood shop. We're going to start by drilling 2 holes with a Forstner bit and then using a bandsaw to cut out the shape. So let's grab our circle tool. And I'm just going to go anywhere on this front surface. I'm going to click, move, and draw a 1-inch circle. I'm going to click, move, and draw a 1-inch circle. 1, enter. Now we want to locate these 2 circles with some dimensions. I'll start by going from the side of my part to the middle of my circle. That was 2 clicks. Move my dimension off my part and between the arrows. And we're going to make this 2.5 inches from the edge. Next, we're going to do the same thing with the other circle, from the edge to the middle, 2.5 inches. I'd like these to be at the same height off the bottom, so we're going to do a dimension from the bottom to the middle. And we're going to make this 0.75 inches from the edge. From the bottom to the middle, 0.75 inches. So we have our part. We've planed it, we've jointed it, we've ripped it. We're now drilling 2 holes in it with a Forstner bit. When those are done, we're going to come in and cut this shape out using a bandsaw. So in Inventor, we're going to use the line tool. Now I'm going to take my line and very carefully snap to this quadrant right here. Click. And I want to move my mouse straight down at 90 degrees down to the bottom of my part, and I click. Same thing over here. Click from that quadrant and go straight down to the bottom line and click. So we're doing bandsaw cuts straight in, straight in. Let's go ahead and connect these 2 lines. Although there is a line on the bottom, we need to make it solid by putting a line across from point to point. We're going to take our bandsaw and we're going to put it in this hole right here, and we're going to cut across the top. So from the top quadrant of one circle, nice and even to the top quadrant of the other. Here is our handle hole, so we can finish our sketch. And we're going to cut all of this shape out. To do that, we use the extrude tool. It's waiting for us to tell it what to extrude. I want to extrude this circle, this middle part, and this circle. I'm doing all of them. Instead of extruding join where it pops out, we're going to tell it to extrude cut. And we could leave it at 1 inch. I like to use the through all button right here. So it just goes half an inch in. Next up, we need to cut our miters on the corner. We're going to use a miter saw for that. In here, we're going to use the chamfer tool. We're going to chamfer a specific distance. We need a 1/2 inch chamfer. So 0.5. And I'm going to chamfer off this corner right here. And I'm going to chamfer off this other front corner. Apply it. Cancel. And I now have the miters that I need to connect these. Last up, we're going to use 2 different routers. I have a handheld router and a router table to give a round over. So let's start with our fillet tool. We can leave it at a radius of 1/8 of an inch. We are going to fillet the edges of our handle hole so it feels a little better in our hand. So we're doing this front edge right here, and we're doing the back edge. We'll apply it. We're also going to do a fillet on the outside of our part. So the inside of these cuts, this is the inside of your part. The back side is going to be the outside of your part. So I want to fillet this top corner over here. Give it a nice little round over. Apply it. Cancel. And we're good. Let's go ahead and do a quick save. Next, we are going to create a dado slot for the wooden shelf that's going to go into these. So we're going to start a 2D sketch on the front of our part. I'm going to click the word front. We're going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to start my rectangle way over here. I want to start it outside of my part with 1 click. And then I'm going to move my mouse way to the right, but I'm not going to click again. If you did accidentally click, you can always hit escape, hit undo, and try it again. So 1 click, move your mouse. We're going to use the tab key right away to switch from that highlighted blue number, and I'm going to tab over to the height. We're going to make the dado fit the plywood that we have in the shop, but for now, as we design it, we're just going to assume that that plywood is 1/4 of an inch thick, which is 0.25, and we can hit enter. Now, this has to be a very specific distance from the edge. The tile that we put on here needs to sit proud. It needs to sit above our piece. So we need to have this groove close to the edge using a dimension. We're going to dimension from the top of our part, click, to the top of our groove, click. We're going to place this. And just for design's sake, we're going to put in 0.125, which is 1/8 of an inch. Go ahead and finish your sketch. We're going to do an extrude. We're going to do a cut. And we're only going to cut this halfway, which is 0.25 or 1/4 of an inch. Go ahead and save. We finished this part by giving it some sort of color or material. I like to click where it says default. You can pick literally anything you want. We're going to make ours out of red oak, which is what I'm going to do. Red oak. I'm going to click save. And you now have one of your 4 sides. They're all the same with our mitered edges, our drill and bandsaw and routered handle, and our table saw dado groove, ready to be assembled and put together in a square like this. Good job. I'll see you in the next one to make a shelf and a tile.